Come on in. It's the Sports Parlor Podcast, brought to you by BetJack.com. And now, please welcome the guys who know it all, Phil Taylor and Nick Pedone.
Welcome to the Sports Parlor Podcast presented by BetJack.com. I'm your host, Nick Pedone, joined by 2011 Cleveland Browns first-round pick, Phil Taylor. Phil, what's happening, man?
Nothing much, man. Glad to be back.
Glad to be back. Thanksgiving week, so you know what that means. We got a lot of football to talk about.
A lot of food, too.
Yeah, definitely a lot of food. We can get into some of that. I'm sure the Taylor household does Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, we probably go to the wife's brother's house, do something, man.
Yeah, that's a good time. What's the goat of Thanksgiving sides for you?
For me?
Yeah.
Man. It ain't Thanksgiving if I ain't got no ham or mac and cheese.
The mac and cheese is next level for me too, and I think that's slept on because people get caught up with the potatoes and the stuffing, but you gotta have some good
ham and mac and cheese. That's all I need.
Definitely. Before we kick things off, we gotta tell you guys about this shirt that I'm wearing. If you're listening to just the audio, go check it out on YouTube. Wearing a GV shirt from BetJack.
Can they see it behind the thing?
Yeah, I'm sure. Cool little collab going on. Sports above all. Awesome little gear. They're giving these away at the Jack Cleveland Casino on November 30th. All Club Jack members are going to get this. You just got to go in there, show your little card, and you're going to get a GV Art shirt. So pretty cool custom design that they're not going to have in store November 30th. Make sure to check it out. We checked out an awesome, interesting week of Ohio football. Browns won. They won ugly at home, and it was nice to just get that win. Ohio State won in blowout fashion. That game was 49-0 at halftime. The Bengals won in Vegas, kind of an impressive win. The Bearcats improved to 11-0, and now it looks like they've kind of made their case for the college football committee. We'll talk a little college football today. Kent State Golden Flashes, got to give them a shout out. Won the wagon wheel over Akron in a big fashion, but for our weekly pick segment, things got a little ugly. I fell back a couple more games. So, Phil, you now have a 5-game lead on me. We are now 81-48-1. That's your record on the season. And I'm 76-53-1. So it's been an interesting year. There's been a lot of upsets all around the league. Definitely, we got to figure this out this week. There's a lot more close matchups to be picked.
Oh, yeah. There was a lot of upsets this week, too, man.
There was.
A lot of upsets.
And we've talked about it in shows before. I think it's been our facts for the last 2 or 3 weeks that the AFC North is wide open. Still holds true. AFC is wide open. Still holds true. Man, the whole NFL is wide open. You got your old mainstays with Brady and with Rodgers. But other than that, there's a lot of parity in the league. It seems like everybody's around 500, and that's what the NFL always wants. That's why they do the draft the way they do it. That's why they do the schedules the way they do it. There's a lot of parity right now, and it would be really nice to see one of our teams kind of kick the door open here and really make some noise.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, let's throw it off. Let's talk some football as we move away from Week 11 and get you guys into Week 12 of the NFL season.
First, Phil's facts we got. Does this win show anything about the Browns? I mean, it was a win. By all means, go out there and get a win.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been that close, I should say. It doesn't say anything bad about the Browns. It's just, I would say, more typical, playing down to your opponent's level, knowing that they're better than them. They just, you know what I'm saying, they were able to get away with a few mistakes that happened, and they still won. You know what I'm saying? A better team wouldn't let them get away with those mistakes. You know what I mean? So, I mean, they, by all means, get a W. So, I mean, I don't have anything bad to say. They got the W, and they just got to, you know what I'm saying, move on to the next week.
I'll say I'm glad they had this little tune-up hiccup, if you want to call it. Not only does it come in a win, but it also comes against an inferior opponent like the Lions, where this defense kind of had one of their better showings, at least recently. And there was the long DeAndre Swift touchdown run, which is a little ugly. But there were some big turnovers that played key parts in this game. You know, Denzel Ward had an interception. Malcolm Smith had a pick as well. For me, I know we're going to get into it way later in the show when we do our picks and pick this Browns game on Sunday Night Football. That's the win condition for the Browns right there. If you turn over Lamar Jackson, you're going to win. So it definitely felt nice to get some turnovers and kind of get that momentum rolling, at least in a victory against the Lions.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What did you think about Baker's play? I hate that we have to do this every week, but that's what the streets are talking about. That's what the people want to know is what's going on here, because people are looking at the record in 6-5, and it's like, that's good. The Browns are still right there, but they know that down the road in 8 or 9 weeks from now, this organization is going to have some serious questions that they have to answer. Obviously, Baker's still under contract next season with the 5th year. He's likely going to be the starter unless something unforeseen happens next year. But there's a lot of people upset with Baker Mayfield. There's a lot of people that want to see Case. And quite frankly, the dude just looks so banged up out there. It's not the guy that we know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel sorry at some point because we know he's injured and he's out there trying to do the best he can for the team. And it's getting to a point where the coaches are going to have to realize we know he's doing the best for the team, but is he helping us or hurting us?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean, nobody wants to say he's hurting us, but I mean, he's a great guy, and he's doing what he can do for the team, and then it's just the inconsistencies, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's like the shoulder pain and, if he's favoring things, you know what I mean? But, I mean, we'll see. These next couple of weeks, we'll watch and see how he plays and just hope for the best,
Yeah, I think that's definitely all we can do. And I don't even want to think about a post-Baker world. I think we all have to just...
I don't want to go into that because... if there's no Baker, then are we back in that, situation like QB carousel?
That's the thing. And that's the thing. And the carousel cravers are almost hoping for it, because they want that next thing.
Some people like that type stuff, man. I want to get a guy, solidify this guy and stick with him. You know what I'm saying? That was the biggest thing when I was playing about the Browns. I felt like they didn't keep a lot of the core guys together. You know what I'm saying? They were always letting guys go this way, that way. And when the players thought we had, a good, jail going, they would release somebody else, or it sucked, man.
Yeah, so. Exactly. And I don't want to go to that place either as a fan. And it's like, in my lifetime, that's all I've seen is turnaround. And I hear the argument that if you could find an upgrade, if you could find Aaron Rodgers, who, come on, let's be real with each other. Aaron Rodgers, at nearing 40 years old, has probably no desire to turn things around and play for the dog pound in his career. Russell Wilson. Do we really want, do we want him, all the first round picks that's going to cost? Plus, he has DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. He can't really score a touchdown right now either. So, to me, there is no better option. And this team and this fan base who booed Baker Mayfield off the field on Sunday and led him to not speak with the media and all these things, they need to just wake up and realize that this is our guy. This is the guy that the organization invested the #1.
Cleveland always been that, though. Been like that, man. The fair weather fans, you know what I'm saying? They love you when you're up and they hate you when you're down. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta he's still on the team. You know what I mean? He's still a Brown. You know what I'm saying? If anything, you need to praise him, help him, you know what I'm saying, then kick a man while he's down. You know what I mean? So
that's where I'm at. So I'm glad that we're on the same page with this, because I really struggled, and I tried thinking of name another fan base that would boo their starting quarterback in a win, in a game that the Browns never trailed. We did this with Tim Couch back in 1999 when he went down and was literally concussed laying in the end zone, and people were cheering as they carried him off the field. It's just so weird. We talked to some people in Cincinnati that kind of help us out with betjack.com, and they were like, man, we sat through some awful Carson Palmer and Andy Dalton games, but you would never boo the starting quarterback at home on your home. That just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but at the same time, let's look at it from a fan perspective who's been a loyal fan, and they're tired of seeing, inconsistent quarterback play.
Yeah.
So.
But what's the answer then? Those fans need to just realize
it's not helping.
That,
it's
only
not,
making
it's
things
not helping.
worse.
It's just, I mean, but people gonna do whatever they want anyway,
Yeah.
So you can control what you can control.
Yeah, and I hope Baker responds in a big way, right? Like, I really, that's the one thing that makes this all go away. And he has the capability to make those people feel really, really stupid and just go out there and ball out on Sunday Night Football and do what we know he's capable of and battle through those injuries. And those people are going to be sitting at their houses being like, man, remember when we booed this guy literally 7 days ago? And
yeah, he go out there and throw 4 touchdowns, 400 yards. You know, everybody, Baker's the best, this and that. He throw an interception, then they flip the script. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
Yeah, people are going to be people, I guess. I don't really agree with it. But nonetheless, we got 2 more passionate fan bases, and both these guys are looking to play some January football.
Mm-hmm.
Throw us to your second fact this week.
College football rankings. OSU and Cincinnati can both get in. That'd be crazy if they both get in, though.
I know.
Sure.
I never really thought that I'd see that in my life. Like, no disrespect to the Cincy Bearcats, but I just didn't view them ever growing up as a legitimate program, you know, a program that could hang with
that.
I just never did, but now this season and a little at the end of last year too.
There's a lot of good programs out there, but it comes down to your conference.
Right.
And
They
a
play
lot
in the
of
American.
good programs are in bad conferences, and those conferences don't generate money.
Right.
So they can't do anything. But now that these, you know what I'm saying, like Cincinnati is in the
American Athletic Conference.
Yeah, something like that. I was going to say the CUSA joint or whatever that was. But, yeah, they're not in the best conference, but they showing they can play ball. You know what I'm saying? They playing ball against the top people. You know what I'm saying? But that'd be crazy if both Ohio State and Cincy get in.
Yeah, and they've definitely done a fantastic job putting themselves on the map this year nationally. You know, Cincy's getting a lot of love, and they definitely got some help in a big way this past weekend when Oregon went down, and then, you know, we're going to see Georgia and Alabama in that SEC championship.
They always in it every year. I hate the college football.
I do too. I'm glad we're talking about
the committee. The people who are on the committee, man, they suck bad. Ain't played a lick of football in their life, but can go out here and tell these people where they think these teams can play at. I'm like, come on, man. You don't know shit about football. You want to go out here and say this 12-0 team can't make it to the playoffs. They 12-0. It don't matter who they play. Put them in there. If they lose, they lose. Then they know. You know what I mean? Make it a real playoff. Best records. You know what I mean? I be hating when Alabama, they lose a game, but they, you know, they end up getting in it again just because they Alabama. They got money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I disagree with it as well, and I think that there's a ton of room for it to be improved. And they've talked expansion and all this stuff. I just
get
that it's
people on there who played football.
There you go. Would you be down to have a vote? You play football.
I mean, I see football. I know football. I know if a team is good or not. You gotta watch film. These people are just because they went to Harvard or Stanford, they think they can do anything they want.
Yeah.
Like, football isn't school to a certain degree.
Right.
For a football player, yeah, your playbook, all that's kind of like school. But for somebody that ain't played football in their life, come on, man.
Yeah, and it's so subjective, dude. It's literally just like, well, they had that one loss, but how much does that loss mean? It's like, how do you measure
Yeah, they
that?
won, but they won by 10 points against a team they should have won by 40. So what? They won.
Yeah.
Like,
it's very weird, and it's definitely flawed. I don't think anybody's
sure.
questioning that. But man, it would be fun. It would be fun to live in a state with 2 teams literally that play 2 hours apart from each other, Columbus to Cincy. That'd be electric, dude. Like, of the 4 teams in the entire country, Ohio would have 2 of them. I'm pulling for that, no question asked.
That's kind of used to be like Florida, and got Miami, Florida State, and Florida.
Yeah, the Gators, who, they've had some better days.
For sure.
All right, well, let's get back to professional football. We kind of had some breaking news before we press record on this podcast. Throw us to your third fact this week.
Oh, man. Nagy. They got him up out of there. You called it.
Kind of. So they kind of got Matt Nagy out of there.
But how they going to make this man? They going to be like, hey, we going to fire you, but we going to make you coach his last game.
Yeah.
That's just insult to injury at my point. Like, they want you to go out there and lose so they can know they made the right decision.
Yeah. So to give everybody a little bit of backstory, what we understand right now is the news breaks on Tuesday. Matt Nagy is out as the Chicago Bears head coach, but he's still coaching on Thanksgiving, literally in 2 days from now. When this podcast comes out, he'll be coaching. I've never seen that before in my life. That you're fired, but you got to coach next week.
Or they be like, all right, it's Thanksgiving, holidays. I don't know. I never seen that.
I let the man celebrate with, go have Thanksgiving with your family. Get the hell out of here. We'll let the strength and conditioning coach call the plays.
Chill. But yeah, that's different. That's the first time. But we'll see. We'll see what the Bears do after this.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk some Bears in our picks of the week. But you've never seen that before, right? That the coach gets fired and then he's fired.
The most I've seen was, like I said, with Chazinski.
Yeah.
We on our way back home from the last game of the year, Pittsburgh, and the story broke that he was fired on the way back on the bus. But it was already after the last game was played.
Yeah. So could you imagine being in the locker room, today, light day, and then tomorrow when you really start to gear up for Thursday game? I
don't get it. How can you coach and put forth effort knowing they don't want you there anymore? You're going to be gone after the game anyway. I wouldn't coach.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go out there and embarrass myself knowing that y'all going to fire me anyway.
And all the commentators are going to be talking about it. All the memes are going to be going out. Like, this guy's literally fired but still doing his job. Like, that's just crazy. Like, I don't know what's going on there. There's definitely – that just doesn't make any sense. And I get that the Bears have been around for like 101 years and they've never fired a coach before in season. But it's just like, okay,
either one in season before.
I guess not. No, I saw that early this morning. But like, okay, either just keep that up and let this guy finish out the year because you're not doing anything anyways this season if you're the Bears, or literally don't make him go out there and embarrass himself on Thanksgiving.
Fire him. One of the either the special teams coach, special teams coach Tabor. Chris Tabor, who used to be at Brown. He can step up, be the interim head coach. He's a great special teams coach.
Yep.
One of the best I've been around. So yeah, I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't do that. So
interesting stuff, man. I've never seen that before. Well, lucky for everyone out there, we're somehow going to talk some Chicago Bears because they play on Thanksgiving Day, and we are going to get you guys into our weekly pick segment. Let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
From big parlays to picks on the money line, here are Phil's and Nick's picks of the week.
Alrighty, weekly pick segment, Thanksgiving Turkey Day edition. There's nothing better than sitting around the TV, full stomach of food. You still got some desserts and stuff out that you pick out all day with some good football games on. However, this is not one of those good football games. We just talked about it. Matt Nagy will be fired, yet somehow still coaching in this game for the Chicago Bears in Detroit. The Lions are at home. Nonetheless, the Bears opened in this game as 4-point favorites. Phil, our Cleveland Browns just got a really good look at the Detroit Lions and Tim Boyle as their quarterback. He didn't really look like he had any purpose being out there.
Not really, but I think I figured out why they want Nagy to coach, man.
Let's hear it.
Because if he lose to the Lions this week, they know damn well they made a great decision.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I'm Nagy and I'm fired and I'm going against the Lions, I'm not going out there. Because it ain't always the coach's fault. Because if these dudes lose, it's just going to make me look even worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, who's going to want to take a chance at, what team would want to take a chance on him as
they giving them the benefit of the doubt. You got one more game to put on your best, your Sunday's best, and show these other coaches, if you can probably get a coordinator spot somewhere.
It's a brutal world, and we talk about it all the time on this show. It's a business that you've been a part of, man, so...
Once you get fired as a head coach, they hide you, man. You don't know where they at after that. For real, man. Like after Shermer, he went Sherman in New York. He the offensive coordinator in New York, but he been offensive coordinator other places though. You know what I'm saying? So he been moving around though. I mean, he was always a good offensive guy. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Well, we'll see. I don't know where Nagy gonna go.
Well, for this game, the Bears are somehow at least opened as 4-point favorites, and there's going to be a lot going on this week. It's going to be no Justin Fields for the Chicago Bears.
Lions.
Wow. All right, Phil already picked the Lions. There's no Justin Fields in this game. It's going to be Andy Dalton. Interesting, just because Justin Fields has some bruised ribs. They figure it's too quick a turnaround time. I'm going to ride this with you. The Lions are at home. They've gotten closer every game. They had a tie, and then they barely lost to the Browns. And then this is the week where you got you think you're a dumpster fire organization, Detroit? Look across to the other sideline and take a look at real long and hard look at the team that you're playing. And they might have a franchise quarterback over there in Justin Fields, but I already see the writing on the wall. I know a disaster of a situation when I see one, and they're trying their damnedest over there in Chicago to ruin this kid's career. They're already going to lose Allen Robinson due to free agency, so they're going to run Fields out there with some patched up offensive line and receivers that are sitting in dorm rooms right now. I'm going to pick the Lions in this game as well. I think this could definitely be a point where maybe they only have 2 or 3 wins on their entire schedule, but it starts this week. It starts on Thanksgiving Day. That'd be an awesome way to kick off a great slate of football. I'm going to take the Lions straight up to win this football game as well.
Okay. Oh, this is what I wanted. You and your little Cowboys.
All right, well, we'll move on. We got another Thanksgiving Day game. Oh, boy. The Cowboys will be back at Jerry's World. It's not Thanksgiving Day unless the Cowboys are playing. Cowboys now 7-3. They'll play host to the Las Vegas Raiders. Both of these teams coming off kind of disappointing losses. The Cowboys at the hands of the Kansas City Chiefs. The Raiders at the hands of the Cincinnati Bengals. Phil, go ahead, man. Go ahead. I'm here.
I ain't got too much to say. I saw it.
Yeah, I saw it too.
I watched some Cowboys, looking like, what I'm saying, how they usually look. That was terrible.
That was terrible.
Terrible.
And Dak looked terrible. Zeke looked terrible. It's the classic Cowboys loss. I hate to say it, but it's like...
But they made that Kansas City defense look like the best defense ever. And they have the last few weeks, not the last few, I would say before the last 2, that defense, like my guy Kendrick Perkins said, they couldn't stop a team of senior citizens. So to go out there, the Cowboys, and let them whoop up on them like that, come on now.
Yeah, that was weird. And I picked the Cowboys in that game, and boy, do I feel like an idiot for doing that. I mean,
Who did I pick that game? Did I pick Cowboys?
You picked the Chiefs. You were never gonna pick the Cowboys in that game. Yeah, man, I'm nervous because now we've had a bigger sample size, and I've said before that I could see the Cowboys playing an NFC Championship game this season. But the Rams look good. The Packers definitely look good. Tampa, oh yeah, they're back too. It seems like the Cowboys are still just in that awkward second tier where it's just like, how do we get that next step above? I'm gonna pick the Cowboys here. They're 6.5 point favorites. That feels like too many points to me. I'm very leery of the line, but I'm gonna pick the Cowboys because as much as they've struggled and hit some turbulence with the loss to the Broncos and then that big loss to Kansas City, the Raiders are the real Cowboys. And by that, I mean that they're the real team that gets disappointing towards the end of November and December. True colors are bleeding through for Vegas.
Yeah, I'm going to go, just being honest on this, I'm going to go with the Cowboys as well, man. I don't think they will play 2 back-to-back terrible games like that. So I'm going to definitely be smart and pick the Cowboys.
Now, are you taking the 6.5?
No.
Me neither. I think this could at least have the potential to be a little bit closer, but I think it's got to be a big game for the stars of the Cowboys. No pun intended, but Dak, Zeke, the guys that make all the money need to act like they make all the money.
Hopefully, CeeDee Lamb will be back as well, so we'll see about that.
For sure. We'll definitely monitor that. As the week progresses, we both got the Cowboys there. We'll move on to the last Thanksgiving Day game from New Orleans as the Saints will host the Buffalo Bills. New Orleans actually comes into this game as 4.5 point favorites. Kind of interesting. I'll save you right here. I'm picking the Bills. I don't get the Saints. I'm sorry. I get that they have Trevor Siemian 1 week. He looks really good. Then yesterday they extended what's the guy's name? Taysom Hill to a $40 million deal. For somebody, it's a hybrid deal. So I swear to you. It depends on what position he plays. It's like money laundering, dude. Like, if he plays quarterback, he could make $40 million. But if he plays tight end, it's like $25 million or something like that. It's crazy.
It's incentive based.
Incentive based, yeah.
It ain't if he play, is how much production he gets at each.
At each position, so at quarterback and at tight end.
But if he gets... But it's the total amount. Like, the highest he can get is like $40 million.
Correct.
Total. And it's probably backloaded.
Yeah. Crazy, though.
And they probably put a snap. They probably put a snap number. He got to get this. The coaches and GMs already know. You know what I'm saying? Because Cribbs was like that 1 year. And he needed a couple throws. It was one game. Seneca was the quarterback. He needed a couple passes to get that. It was like an extra $1 million incentive. He gave Seneca 50 racks. Seneca was throwing that bit to him every time. Every time. He got what he needed.
That's awesome.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great story.
I don't see 40 count. I don't see them giving him 40 though. He ain't did enough pass. He can run.
Yeah, I don't get it really much at all. For this
He a faster Tim Tebow.
Yeah, pretty much. That doesn't have the Bible verse in his eye black. That's pretty much the only difference, man. I don't see how the Bills lose this game. They just had a very ugly loss. The thing I hate about the Bills, and the thing that I think is going
offensive inconsistency, man.
And it's the inability to run the football. You got to be able to run the football if you're a cold weather city. They cannot. Like, Josh Allen is their best running back, and he's a 6'4" white dude.
Dude, they got running backs they don't utilize.
I know.
mean, you got Singletary, you got Moss.
Spent a high pick on Moss.
Yeah, exactly. But they're not giving them the pill like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Singletary is more of a pass catcher type guy, but I don't know, man.
You about to pick the Saints at home?
Huh?
Are you going to pick the Saints at home?
No, I just say I don't know. I'm just talking about their offense. I'm talking about the
were
Bills' offense.
Yeah,
No,
it's weird.
I'm picking the Bills.
All right,
sure.
same. Yeah, I don't see them having two ugly
I'm picking
losses
the
in a
Bills.
row. And for the Saints, I think they're going to finish out about what their record is right now. You know, it'll be 9-8, 8-9, one way or another. Take a coin flip there. All right, we'll move on to our Sunday programming. That's the end of the Thanksgiving Day games, as the Indianapolis Colts are riding a huge win. And we got to talk about these Colts.
Looking good.
At home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is going to be an incredible game. Bucks are 2.5-point favorites on the road. But, dare I say, the Colts might have the MVP on their roster in Jonathan Taylor.
For sure. I'm glad I ain't played against him in fantasy last week.
I did.
You did?
Yeah, so I played against him. Not only did I play against him in fantasy, I played against him in fantasy to the No Names Please Chief Marketing Officer of the Jack Casino. So, you know, I heard about this all weekend and then all week so far. Oh, yeah. Dude, he put up 50 fantasy points.
53 in one of my leagues, yeah.
But he looks really good. Like, he is literally what's making that offense in Indianapolis work. I think he should legitimately get MVP looks.
And what I like about Jonathan Taylor, not only is we got the same name, but last name, I should say, but he's confident, man.
Yeah.
And he's not arrogant with it at all. You know what I'm saying? He's out there toting it and knowing he's toting it and not being arrogant about it.
Yeah.
Which is scary. You know what I'm saying? He's young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he doing it, you know what I'm saying, catching, running, you know what I'm saying? He remind me like a the Danian Thomason almost. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Definitely. I think for this game, I got to ride with Vegas, and I respect the 2.5. I respect Tom. I think the Tampa's just got a little bit too much. They're also getting healthy. We talked about it last week. Who's going to get hot? Who's going to get healthy? Tampa fits the bill. They got Gronk back. They kind of eased him in. AB could be a couple weeks away, but they're going to get him back too. I'm going to pick Tampa in this game. I'm going to pick Tampa to cover the silly 2.5 because as long as they win by a field goal, you win money.
Yeah, same here. I'm gonna go with the same thing. Go with Bucks. Taking the 2.5 as well.
Well, the good games continue, Phil, and what I believe to be two of the best in the NFC. The Green Bay Packers will be at home against the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are coming off a bye week after a game where they looked really bad in primetime offensively. But this will be like the Odell Beckham Bowl. We heard that these are the two teams that OBJ was kind of interested in, the Rams and the Packers. Packers and Lambeau, 1.5-point favorites. We know that's a difficult place to play.
It is. And, man, it's going to be a great game.
This is, yeah. I wish this was a Thanksgiving Day game.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea. Man, it's a tough one. This is a tough one. And there's only 1.5 at that. I can't go against Aaron Rodgers, man.
That's where I'm at too.
Yeah, man. He be pulling wins out of the hat.
And he lost. The Packers lost this past week to the Minnesota Vikings, and like it was like
tough loss.
It was a tough loss. It was like the most quiet loss of the week. Like nobody really talked about that game nationally, and that pisses off Aaron Rodgers. Like he's somewhere in the shadows right now, just grinding tape.
Yeah, he lost. And Kirk Cousins ain't even have a good game. Still lost.
So I'm gonna pick the Packers as well. I think I'll pick the Packers and the 1.5. Same logic applies. I'm interested to see, and I'll definitely be watching just how this Rams offense looked. They had a whole nother week to get Stafford and OBJ and Cooper Kupp all on the same page. They'll also have Darrell Henderson back, so you got your guys back. You got to go out there and battle. I would love nothing more than this game to be a shootout, but both of these teams also have really solid defenses, so I wouldn't be surprised if this was more low scoring. But this is the type of game I would love to see be in like the 40s, and Rodgers is just throwing that thing, and Stafford's just launching it too. I think that's what would be a lot of fun.
See, the more you talking about it, making me, I'm gonna go with the Rams.
You're gonna go with the Rams?
I'm gonna go with the Rams on this one, man.
Cool. What's the reasoning? Do you think that it could be a shootout?
Shootout, and the Rams coming off of a disappointing, loss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel as though they're gonna bounce back. And when it comes to defense, I feel as though the Rams got the better defense.
Yeah, they probably do.
Jair Alexander's not back yet for the Packers, so I don't know how. I think the Rams' win condition will be to expose their secondary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't let those guys up front, Smith and both Smiths.
Yeah, for real.
Get to the Rams quarterback, Stafford. Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Rams, man. I think they can pull it out, you know what I'm saying? And their win condition is going to be that offense, you know what I'm saying, exposing the Packers defense.
All right, we'll move on there. You got the Rams. I got the Pack. We'll go to New England. Boy, it's crazy. The Patriots are right back up there in the lead of the AFC right now.
You would think they was at the bottom of the barrel, but old Bill, get them.
Bill's got his boys back at Gillette as well, and they're 5.5-point favorites against the Derrick Henry-less Tennessee Titans. Looked like last week the first real ugly L for the Titans without Derrick Henry, and I think that could have been a bit of a foreshadowing of what's to come for Tennessee. I'm going to pick the Patriots.
We didn't think that
game.
one last week either against Houston.
No, nobody did though. In our defense, come on.
Yeah, I'm going Patriots for sure. They've been rolling, man, because they started 1-3.
Yeah.
So they've been on the 6. Yeah, they've been rolling.
It's just like
Mac Jones looking better and better each week.
That's what's the crazy part about football, and like the crazy part about doing these podcasts and like commentating. You try not to use cliches. You try to give people that extra insight. But you have to use cliches when you talk about the Patriots because they play good sound football. Yeah. They don't get a lot of penalties. They have a good defense, and it's a well-mixed offense of running the football with the zillion running backs that they have. There are nice, safe throws, and that's how they've won for literally my entire life, and I don't see that slowing down. So I'm going to pick the Patriots. I'm going to take the 5.5 as well.
Same here.
We'll move on forward. Cam Newton's back. The Panthers will be road favorites against the Miami Dolphins in Hard Rock Stadium. Carolina, 1.5-point favorites here. I'm going to take Carolina. I'm going to take the Panthers. They had a close loss to the Washington football team, where your football team definitely balled this week, Phil. But I'm going to take Cam and the boys to get back here and take care of the Dolphins and take care of this 1.5 as well.
Oh yeah, I think they can definitely do it, and they're gonna be hungry. They should have won last week. It was a tough game, and respect to the football team. They went out and played great. But this week, the Panthers definitely gonna get this one against Miami.
Yeah, and the Dolphins are just a weird team where sometimes when that defense comes to play, it's like, all right, this is fun, this is legit, and then other times you just get carved up by Joe Flacco. So I got a hard time picking the Dolphins definitely in this game. Give me Cam, give me the Panthers. We'll move on back to the AFC. Denver Broncos at home in Mile High. I feel like they've had a lot of home games so far this year for some reason. Yet they'll be underdogs in their home stadium. The Los Angeles Chargers are looking good. Justin Herbert really looks like the real deal. Their 2.5-point favorites are the Chargers in Denver.
I'm going Chargers. Man. Like you said, Herbert, man, he's been looking good. Eckler's been running that ball, catching the ball. Freaking Mike Williams, going crazy out there. So they got so many weapons, man, and it's hard to stop them. And the defense is playing great as well. So
that's what I'm saying. Nobody's talking about the Chargers defense and what they're able to do on that side of the football. It's so smart and it seems so simple. Literally, Joey Bosa wasn't getting much going against the Steelers on the outside. They were kind of chipping him, sending tight ends at him, typical Steelers stuff. So they just sent that dude right through the middle, and he was there was then no answer when you put him against some slow guard. So, so I'm definitely gonna take the Chargers. I'm taking the 2.5 as well. This is a spread that I really like this week. I'm making the Chargers my lock of the week, Phil.
Okay.
I like this 2.5 a lot. I think Herbert definitely has that in him. I know it's on the road, but. Man, he runs
2.5.
It
ain't bad, man. 2.5 ain't bad. Yeah, I'll take that as well.
Cool. Let's move on there. We'll go to Houston. I guess we got to pay Houston some knowledge now.
Yeah, pay respect.
They got to win.
My man Tyrod out there.
Tyrod looked good. The Texans are 2.5-point favorites at home against the New York Jets. We don't know what's going on with the Jets. We don't know who the quarterback's going to be. We've seen the days of former Cleveland Mayor Mike White. We've seen now Joe Flacco go out there and get the dub. We've seen Zach Wilson, who they're saying they're really going to take the time getting him back from this injury. I don't know if you saw this, Phil. They said that they had seen some real struggles with his fundamentals. So they hired his full-time personal trainer to be a part of the New York Jets staff to try to get Zach Wilson back to the basics. That's probably not an assuring thing for a guy that you spent with the number 2 overall pick.
No, not necessarily. It's just showing that they care.
Yeah.
And they're going to do anything they can, to get him where he needs to be.
Must be nice.
They saw enough in him to do this. That means, that he really might got a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like he had some good games, and then when he had a bad game, but we'll see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll
shout out to the trainer, though. You know what I'm saying? Finesse.
Yeah, getting himself on that payroll.
Hell yeah.
Getting himself that salary every 2 weeks. That's gonna hit. What do you think? What do you think about this game, though? I don't know what to make of this one way or another. I might predict a tie. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna take the Jets on the road. I'll take the Jets to win outright. Give me another Joe Flacco game.
I'm going Tyrod and the boys, man. Texans, and I'm taking them 2.5.
All right, Phil's got Texans 2.5. I got the Jets straight up victory. That's a sad game. All right, we'll move on to San Francisco. Jimmy G, Trey Lance, the hybrid of both of those guys will be back at Levi Stadium. 49ers 3.5-point favorites against the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings come off of a big win, but still underdogs on the road here. 3.5-point favorites. That's generally what Vegas gives the home team. So again, this game is virtually a toss-up. Where if this was played in Cleveland, Ohio, this would be no line. It would be even both ways.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Vikings.
That's interesting.
I'm gonna go Vikings, man. I feel as though Kurt, he can be inconsistent at times, but he can be top notch at times as well. And just with their offensive firepower, I think they can get the job done.
This is a tough game to pick. I mean, Vikings 5-5, 49ers 5-5. Both teams have been up and down. You can say the same thing about Jimmy G. Has had inconsistencies, has looked good at times. I'm gonna take.
Didn't
the
they
49ers.
pull him this past game too?
They did. I'm gonna take the 49ers. I don't know who's their quarterback. I don't know what's going on, but Brandon Ayuk had a good game. Their run game is always going to be good under Shanahan.
Yeah,
That's his thing. Debo is just on a different planet right now. So I'm going to take the 49ers.
Man, I was mad at the 49ers, my boy Trent Williams, man, he could have had him a touchdown, man.
Yeah.
They should have called the flag on the DB, hit my man all up high and stuff, man.
I'm going to take the 49ers. I don't feel good about it, but I got to pick some underdogs. Technically, they're a favorite here, so give me the 49ers.
Yeah, cut into my lead. Man.
Yeah, don't feel good about it, though. All right, here's a game that nobody cares about. The New York Giants, for some reason, will play at home against the Philadelphia Eagles. Philly's going to be 3.5-point favorites on the road. The NFC East is still the NFC East. Cowboys have had their struggles, but they got that division locked down.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I know
I'm going
Philly.
I'm going Philly on this one, though.
I'm going Philly as well, yeah. Especially after what we saw out of the friggin' the New York Giants in primetime, dude. Come on, that's the showing that you show America in a primetime game. You throw an
Jalen Hurts gonna run
with
all over
defensive tackle, and yeah, Jalen Hurts is just like the dual threat quarterback right now.
Ball, he getting real confident back there. A lot of these guys getting real confident.
He is, and the Eagles are 5-6. Here's a really good opportunity for them to improve to 6-6. And again, another spread that I really like here, Phil. I think Philly could win by more than 3.5.
For sure. How the Giants look last night? For sure.
Dude, they look bad. And I know here we go though.
Eagles and a 3.5.
Here we go. I am too though, but watch. This will be the game where Daniel Jones balls for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. Yeah, and it's like, come on. But I'm taking the Eagles. I can't go against logic that much. Give me Philly. All right. Last painful game before we get to Sunday Night Football and our Ohio teams. Atlanta Falcons are going to be on the road against the Jacksonville Jaguars in Florida. Falcons 1.5-point favorites. Game is virtually a toss-up here, Phil.
After last week, I'm going Jacksonville.
Wow.
I'm going Jacksonville.
So Atlanta really just showed you nothing.
Man.
Matty Ice, dude. Come on. Some people want Matty Ice
They put
for
up
Baker.
An egg.
Some people want Matty Ice
They put up an egg, Nick. An egg.
I know. I'm going Jacksonville as well, man. I don't.
Patriots defense looking like that defense 2 years ago.
I don't know how is Jacksonville not favored in this game. I get that they're the Jaguars and that they're 2-8, and the other team only has 2 more wins than them. Now Kyle Pitts is back to a non-factor. The same thing that we were ripping our hair out a couple weeks ago. Calvin Ridley up and retired, and they said he's still not coming back from the mental health break and everything. Atlanta's just got a mess.
You gotta respect
right
that.
now.
You gotta respect.
I do,
that.
but as far as the team and as far as picking a winner and loser,
Going back to what I
can't pick
said
this team.
on one of the earlier episodes, Matty Ice might be starting to melt a little bit. Yeah, Ice started to melt a little bit.
Could you imagine that people have really said a couple weeks ago that he would be a better option for the Browns right now than Baker Mayfield? I about fell out of my seat. All right, well,
I don't feel like any quarterback that's on the back end of their career, like, it's hard, but at the same time, I'd rather have a young guy that we can solidify than to have a guy on the back end you might only see 2 or 3 years out of, and then you back to square one.
oh, I don't want to be anywhere near square one. Give me the Jaguars and give me Matt Ryan to retire after this season. I think it's probably time. And I think he might know that it's time too. Like just the way that he plays. He doesn't part of what made prime Matt Ryan good was he just had that like gunslinger mentality that he was gonna chuck it downfield. They didn't care, who stood in front of him. But that's just gone now, and now we see old man Matt Ryan that's just
He ain't
trying
got
to
Julio
dink
no
and
more.
dunk.
You know what I mean? Two-top Tony.
It's a
Tony
sad
two-top.
state of affairs for Atlanta. I can't believe we're both taking the Jaguars, but that's what this season has come to. All right, the act that you've all been waiting for, Sunday Night Football. We'll do it from Baltimore, Maryland. Ravens 4.5-point favorites in this game, Phil. How do you see this shake? Because we've seen the ups and downs for both teams. We've seen the Browns look really good when they play Cincy. We've seen the Ravens and what they could do offensively. I don't know what to make of this game. Baltimore 4.5, man. I'm nervous to pick the Browns here. I'll be honest with you.
I'm not. Because I know. With the Ravens, man, even though Lamar ain't played last week, he is that the offense.
Mm-hmm.
And You make him a non-factor, everything else gonna be a non-factor. You go out there and treat Lamar like y'all did them Bears and make them throw out of a phone booth and hitting them every chance you get, they're going to win.
And that's what we...
Easy.
Wow. That's what we heard all week, all season long, is that it was a defense built to slow down Lamar Jackson. And that's the reason why they drafted Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. That's the reason they got some of them veteran linebackers back, Malcolm Smith, Clowney. I really would love to see them do it in prime time and kind of shut up some of the noise, that people think that the Browns suck and that Baker's not for real. It's been just annoying to be a Browns fan like these last couple weeks. And the team's 6-5. We act like they're not 6-5 and right where we want them to be with the chunk of their schedule still ahead. You got Baltimore by Baltimore. You win these 2 games, man. The AFC North is damn near locked up. You got the head-to-head with Cincy.
Yeah. Hey, sounds a lot easier than it is.
Sure does. Especially because Baltimore is well coached. And I think that's what this comes down for me too. Is can Kevin Stefanski find a way to hang with Harbaugh? And what I mean by that is, we know Baker's banged up. You got to make life on Baker Mayfield as easy as possible. It needs to be Nick Chubb, Dearness Johnson, and Kareem Hunt if Kareem is ready to roll. No more 3rd and 3 gadget runs with Demetric Felton. No more tight end arounds with David Njoku. Let's play a really sound game of football and outclass John Harbaugh, because best believe he's going to have some tricks as well. This is a divisional game.
If I was an offensive coordinator, I'd go out there and give me the meanest freaking fullback in the world. And just with Chubb and them, come on, man.
They got Andy Janovich. Should see a lot of them this game.
He was out Denver with me.
That's right.
Andy was out Denver, man. Andy cool. He cool, but he ain't got that true dog. You know what I mean, man.
Yeah, somebody that's just going to...
Andy cool, man. He going to fit up and block you all right, but he ain't going to put his nose in you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Damn.
Definitely. This game needs to be a big dose of Chubb and Hunt. I think I'm going to pick Baltimore.
Man, what the hell wrong with you?
No, I don't have it in me, man. I'm picking the Browns. I'm gonna pick the Browns to win outright in this game. Do you have a score predict? I think this is going to be literally a 1-score game, though. I don't think it's going to be...
No, they're going to score. I'll say it'd be like a 17-14 game.
Yeah, that's what I think, too. I was right around there. I was going to go 21-20. I think in order to win this game for the Browns, they literally need to score more than 17 points. The last time, they've only scored more than 17 once. That Cincy game since October 23rd. That was a long time ago. It's been about a month.
Yeah.
And you've scored under 17 points. You got to score over 17. But I think they could do that. Like, take Baker for what he's worth. Now, I know he's kind of crazy in the head, but he's saying that a lot of these injuries are starting to, heal up just a little bit week in and week out. So if we could get him right and throw a couple touchdown passes along the way with a big day out of Chubb and Hunt, you should have no issue getting into the 20s. My head says pick Baltimore. My heart's sticking with the Browns.
I'm going Browns all the way, man. I'm going Browns.
Same. 7-5 sure would feel sweet going into that bye week.
Hell yeah.
Let's head on over to Cincinnati. They've got themselves a Pittsburgh Steeler week, Phil. Cincy's going to be 4.5-point favorites. Vegas is giving them some love. They understand that they're at home, but they're getting another additional point added onto that against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll say it right now. I'm going to take Cincinnati. I'm also taking that 4.5. Joe Burrow is taking the next step. That offense, since he finally figured it out, man. We were talking at the beginning of the year like Zach Taylor could get fired. You play in the AFC North, dude. Joe Mixon's a good running back. Use him.
Yeah, they need to. But yeah, I got Cincy in this one too. Big Ben was looking real inconsistent last week.
What do you think of the 4.5 on this? I think it's beyond doable for Cincy's offense.
Yeah, that's doable for sure.
Yeah, I think their win condition is the same as the Browns' win condition was when the Browns played Cincy, and it's just get to Big Ben, and then it's going to be about over.
They ain't even really got to get to Big Ben now. Big Ben be
Getting to himself.
Yeah. Like, I feel as though their offense can consistently move against the Steelers' defense. That's their win condition. The Steelers, their defense gets them out of a lot of situations.
Mm-hmm.
And their rookie running back, they got Nagy. The Steelers, they get Najee going, that's the thing. It can be a problem for the Bengals then. You know what I mean? Or they get Johnson out there. Because I don't know why. Claypool can't get it going.
Yeah.
But he finding Johnson all the time. Like, they got weapons, but Big Ben, I don't trust him.
Nah.
I'm going Bengals.
Yeah, I'm going Bengals too, and that again should heat up what is already a really good AFC North. If Cincy wins, Browns win, Browns will go into a bye weekend, and things will be heating up, especially up at top of the AFC. All right, we'll head to Monday Night Football. Washington football team, man, we'll get a great look at them in prime time this week from their home stadium, playing host to the Seattle Seahawks. Let Russ cook, man. He hasn't looked too hot coming off that pin in the finger. Russ looks a little broken right now. Nonetheless, Seahawks still getting 1.5 here on the road.
Man, this one. Oh, it's tough, man. You know, football team coming off a nice W against Carolina. Seahawks, man, I don't know, man. Like you said, Russ, he looking still a little banged up, like he ain't confident in that hand.
Right.
You know, so. Man, Seahawks, I didn't know they was 3-7, man. They ain't won a game since he
went
got
down.
hurt. Yeah, that's crazy. I thought they can, sneak 3 or 4 W's. Man.
Their fans are disappointed.
I'm going to go with my football team on this one. And Carson, he's out, too, for the rest of the season. Neck injury, neck surgery or some shit.
Yeah, the football team, man, we've seen it. We've seen how they need to get their wins. They need to let Heineke just be Heineke, and that defense needs to ball out. It's doable with how Russell Wilson has looked.
But the only thing that scares me about Washington defense now is that Chase is
young.
gone.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
I feel like it's a business. They got to step in and, next man up mentality, and I think they can get the job done. Because I damn sure don't think anybody in that secondary for the Seahawks can stop Scary Terry.
Yeah, could be a big game. I need it to be a big game for McLaurin for my fantasy.
For sure.
I'm going to pick the Seattle Seahawks in this game. I think I've seen too many bad Russell Wilson games in a row. That's my philosophy. I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks plus the 1.5.
Think you're getting it together this week?
Too many bad games in a row. At some point, the light bulb is going to go off, and we're going to see a crazy Metcalf run or a long bomb to Lockett, and things will start to get back to normal. I got the same beef. The Seahawks are the Bills of the NFC in the sense that they can't run the football. So if they could at least get Alex Collins a couple yards on the ground, that at least make Russ's life a little bit easier. But let's not act like Russ is some kind of statue quarterback. Let him move around too a little bit.
I don't know, man. I think Russ, he wasn't really. He'll run when he needs to.
Yeah.
He's not a big scrambler.
For sure. I'll take the Seahawks on the road and the 1.5. Big week. We picked a lot of these different, Phil, so we'll have to see next week how I could possibly carve into your league or you create some true separation on me and make it very difficult in the last couple weeks of the season. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Another episode of the Sports Parlor Pod presented by BetJack. Make sure to go check out BetJack on social at BetJack, Facebook, Twitter, IG. They're on it all. Go check them out. We'll see you next week. Hopefully celebrating a big Browns victory over the Baltimore Ravens. Do this bye week right.